Thank you guys for coming out to the November 2014 Chamber Membership Luncheon. Thanks for taking your time to come out today. We've got a great speaker to my left, and I'm confident you'll walk out of here today being more informed about our economic development opportunities. And under Shane Short's guidance, we're in good hands. If you would stand and join me in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to thank our luncheon sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. We got a whole table full over here. I see my buddy Steve Sal with Elite Storage Solutions. Did you stand up with your team? And also Michael Schoon with Hitachi. Guys, we could not have these luncheons without you and everything you do to support us. I would offer it to Steve, but I know he'll take the whole podium. Now, if you guys would like to say something about your companies, you're welcome to. Well, look, we appreciate you guys, and we'll get on with the speakers. I know you're on tight time. Shane Short, the director of our development authority, is going to come up and introduce our speaker.
Earlier, Bruce Williamson accused me of coming to work today because Chris Carr was our speaker. Actually, I came to work today because of the fried chicken.
I was sitting there, she was sitting there.
It is my pleasure today to introduce to you one of Georgia's outstanding leaders, Chris Carr. In his distinguished career, he began with Georgia Pacific after graduating from the elite University of Georgia's Terry College of Business and the Lumpkin School of Law. Go Dogs. Following Georgia Pacific, Chris joined the law firm of Walton and Byrd, and then served as Vice President and General Counsel for the Georgia Public Policy Foundation. And he did that before serving as Chief of Staff for Senator Johnny Isakson. In November of 2013, Chris was appointed Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development, where he leads the state agency responsible for creating jobs and investment in Georgia through business recruitment, expansion, international trade and tourism, as well as the arts, film, and music industry. Under Chris's leadership, the state of Georgia has been named the best state for business in both 2013 and 2014 by Site Selection magazine, and was also named recently by CNBC as the best state for business this year. Chris lives in Dunwoody and has a daughter, Mary Clifton. And my first experience with Chris was when I was the chair of the Redevelopment Authority of Fort Gillum, otherwise known as BRAC, the base closure. And we had some issues that we were having with some bureaucrats in Washington. And we made a call to Chris at Johnny Isakson's office, and he made sure that things were taken care of. And it was a great experience, and he really has served Georgia well, not only in his current capacity, but in his past career. And it's with great honor today that I introduce to you a great gentleman, Mr. Chris Carr.
Thank you very much, and I cannot tell you how many times I've been trumped by good fried chicken, so today is no different. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I thank all of you for what you do for your community and for what you do for economic development in Georgia. We talk about the fact that everybody is an ambassador for economic development because everybody has a customer or a client or a friend or a neighbor or a family member that wants to do business. And we want to partner with you to continue to do that and appreciate all the great companies that are here today and all of you for what you do for economic development, not just in Walton County, not just in Monroe, but for our entire state. And what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about what the Department of Economic Development does, because one of the things that I found when I started a year ago is that people talk about traditional industrial development, and that truly is the cornerstone of what we do. But Governor Deal tasks us at the department with increasing jobs and investment. He doesn't just do it in traditional industrial development ways, but all across the board. And we've got about 7 different divisions that I briefly want to talk about, and then maybe answer some questions that you may have. But we have taken an integrated approach to economic development. We have to not only create a good business environment so companies want to be here, so that companies want to expand in Georgia once they are here, but we've got to have a great place to live. And let me tell you, we have that. And if you talk with folks around the country that do this, site selection consultants, people that are in the real estate business, folks that are making decisions for companies, Georgia is a fantastic place to do business, and it's an even better place to live. So we have a great 1-2 punch, and that is the same in this community and in many communities around Georgia that we're working with. So what I want to do, though, is I want to talk about the 7 different divisions that we have. We have global commerce, trade, centers of innovation, workforce, tourism, film, and the Council for the Arts. And we do, I'll start with the cornerstone, which is global commerce. And I want to introduce Susie Haggard, who's on our team. Susie is your regional project manager, regional director for this region, Region 5. And what we do is we divide the state up into 2 different we have, our 2 main goals are new business recruitment and existing industry expansion. Susie's on the existing industry team, and we've divided the state up into 12 different regions where we have folks living in the community, taking care of Georgia business, and 2/3 to 3/4 of the announcements we make every year are with existing industry expansion. We take care of Georgia business first. That just makes sense. So we've got to have a good environment for Georgia business. Once you're here, we want to take good care of you. So we've got these 12 regions. We also, on the new business recruitment side, have folks that work in Atlanta that are industry-based and work, on the life sciences side, on logistics, on agribusiness, food processing, you name it. So we've got a team that works on an industry-specific basis to try to recruit both domestically and internationally. And we have 12 offices around the world that we're working to try to bring foreign direct investment to our state. We are located in Canada, in Mexico, in Colombia, and we're the first state to have a presence in Colombia. We're in Chile, Brazil, Great Britain, Germany, Israel, South Korea, Japan, and 2 offices in China. And I want to talk about, we also do trade through those offices as well, and I'll get to those in a minute. But I want to talk about a couple things real quick. Shane had mentioned a couple of recent great recognitions that we've gotten as a state. Site selection and area development are 2. And I want to just talk about those quickly because they are important. And why are they important? Some have said, well, it's one site selection is a niche magazine or area development. It's not very. But let me tell you, these are the publications that are read and are the Bibles for those that are making economic development decisions, not only in the country but around the world. And so when you are named number 1, it matters. But you're named number 1 not because of any one reason, but because many reasons. And one of the strengths that we have are the partnerships that we have in this state, both with the private sector and the public sector, from the state level to the local communities, because companies can see if you're not getting along, they're not going to pay attention. They don't want the drama of it. But we've created a model in Georgia, and if you talk to the folks around the world that do this, around the country that do this, they will say Georgia has figured it out. And at the department, we try to play quarterback. We don't want to dominate, but we want to play quarterback. Bring together the local community, our sister agencies, our utility partners, the private sector, and do whatever it takes to make sure a company knows that it makes sense to do business in Georgia. So we are very, very proud for the 2nd year in a row. Site Selection is named as the number 1 state in the nation to do business. Area development also ranked us number 1. And I want to point out a couple of those rankings. They had subsections of each, and there are about 18 subcategories. And some of the ones I want to point out are this. We have the number 1 labor climate. We were number 1 for cooperative state government. We were number 1 for leading workforce development programs. We were number 2 for business environment, overall infrastructure, and global access. And in 13 of those 18 subcategories, Georgia placed in the top 3. So we all collectively are doing something right. We have great leadership in the governor's office. The governor just gets economic development, so does his team. But where's Bruce Williamson? Where's Bruce? I saw you. Bruce Williamson is a champion for economic development. The Georgia General Assembly is our champions for what we're doing and support everything that we do. You can't have each other fighting, but I tell you what they do, what Bruce does specifically, is absolutely outstanding in supporting what we're trying to do as a mission. Let me give you a few numbers. Since Governor Deal became governor in 2011, we have generated over 107,000 jobs and over $18 billion in investment. And right here in Walton County, we've had 5 project announcements that created over 550 new jobs and $157 million in investment. That's just within the county. Shane and I were talking about this before, though. I know the community is trying to fight to get a project located in that community, and should. But the next best thing is if they locate in a community adjacent to your county or your city, because what you see in every project that we're working on, when you're talking about a labor model, it's 30, 45, 60 miles out. Where you see where they're going to go do work with suppliers and customers, 30, 45, 60 miles and beyond. So everybody benefits. And the fact that you guys have a joint development authority and the way that you work with your adjoining counties makes sense. And we're seeing this more and more from companies. They want to know that things are regional. For a company, and I think some of our great companies here can talk about this, problems, opportunities don't stop at the county line. So we've got to be able to work together, and I truly commend you for what you do. And speaking of one of the great counties, Hitachi obviously announced 250 jobs and $80 million in new investment in May of 2013, and in June this year had their grand opening ceremony as well. And one of the other highlights was Hitachi receiving Georgia's 2014 Manufacturer of the Year from Governor Deal earlier this year. So just again, a great corporate citizen, and we commend you for that. The second area is trade. And when we started going around the state last year, when I took this job, wanted to get to all 12 regions from global commerce and 9 from a tourism, we wanted to take a representative from all of our different departments, and we brought trade. And what we found as we were preparing to go around the state is we are very fortunate. We have in all 159 counties of this state at least one company that imports, exports, or both. Now, I say that because we talk about the integrated approach to economic development. Everybody's trying to get the next Hitachi, the next Baxter, the next Caterpillar, whatever it may be. But in the meantime, we have got great companies right here in your community. And free of charge, our department works with small and mid-sized firms to help them find new markets overseas. Those 12 offices that we talked about are working every day to try to help Georgia companies. Now, a lot of times, small and mid-sized firms say, I could never become an exporter. Oh, it just seems so difficult. Not true. And when you have somebody that can walk you through it free of charge like we do, that really is a great benefit. So we talk about it. You may know somebody in this room. You may know somebody that you work with that would be a great, it would be a great opportunity for them. Let us know. Holly Scorridge is our trade rep for your area, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with her. One of the, let me point out a couple of other statistics. There are 129 companies in your county that are doing business abroad, exporting to Europe, Asia, Australia, South America, and Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean. That's outstanding, absolutely fantastic. And we also host trade missions. We've been to China and Israel this year, and we do more kind of smaller trade missions as well. And Stone Mountain Pecan Company, as I understand, which is based in Monroe, participated in one of our GROW events, which is a program that provides kind of qualified Georgia suppliers with an opportunity to meet international buyers, and a great opportunity there. So great opportunities abound in our trade division. We're very proud of that. Bo Warren is sitting over to my left. Bo heads up our Center of Innovation for Agribusiness. And so that's the third area I want to talk about, which is our Centers of Innovation. They are the crossroads between the academic sector, the private sector, and the public sector. And we've divided the state, or we've identified 6 strategic industries that we want to focus on in Georgia. And we have strategic partnerships with Georgia Tech, University of Georgia, Georgia State, and others. And we have focused on aerospace, agribusiness, energy technology, information technology, logistics, and manufacturing. And again, Bo works on agribusiness, but we've got folks that head up each one of these teams. And if there are companies that have a new product they want to test, but maybe don't have a ton of R&D dollars, we can tap into the university resources. If they're also looking for new markets and new customers, they'll work with our trade division to work. But it's, again, another opportunity that we have to work with small businesses, because, of course, 98 to 99% of all businesses in Georgia are small businesses. The Coca-Colas of the world don't necessarily need us, but small business does, and the Centers of Innovation do a great job bringing the resources of the university system into economic development. And the fourth area, kind of the traditional commerce side, is workforce. And we just picked up workforce in July. They came over from the governor's office. And what they do is twofold. One is job retraining, kind of on the federal side. There's a federal program that works on training and job retraining. But the governor has also identified a few areas that we wanted our workforce division to work on. The number one area, which he named and he highlighted in January, is what we're calling the High Demand Career Initiative. Because what we found is no matter if you're an existing industry, if you're a new business we're trying to recruit, there's one issue that always comes up, that's workforce. So we have to make sure that we have a trained, sustained, reliable workforce. That is good for Georgia business, it's good for the companies, but it's also good for the people of Georgia. So what the governor did is he tasked economic development, the university system, and the technical colleges to go out into the state and ask the private sector, what are you going to need 5 and 10 years down the line to be successful? And a lot of it, we did, I think, 13 different industry meetings. We did 3 with the governor around the state, North Georgia, Atlanta, and in Southeast Georgia. And we heard a lot of what you'd think we'd heard. We need more engineers. We need more computer programming. We need more coding. But we also need more welders. We need more electricians. We need more long-distance truck drivers. And so what the governor has done is and I'll get to in a minute, the film industry, we need more folks in the skilled trade of the film industry to support what we're doing. So the governor has, the Board of Regents, just recently in August, because of the feedback we got from you, the private sector, started a new Bachelor of Science at Georgia Southern called Bachelor of Science in Manufacturing Engineering, and it's a practical engineering degree. He's beefed up the Zell Miller grants, which go to the technical colleges in the areas of long-distance truck driving. He'd already done nursing. Also, again, there's an engineering certificate that you can get at the technical college level that is critically important for companies. And then again, in the film industry, focused on some of the skilled trades as well. What we're trying to do is we are trying to work at the speed of business to make sure that we have the workforce. Again, good for you, good for the people of Georgia to know that we are focusing on the jobs of the future. In order to help that, we also have a couple other programs. Go Build Georgia focuses on high schools, high school level students, to make sure they understand what a great opportunity you have in the skilled trades. As I understand it, Stacy Cook, a counselor at Monroe Area High School, is our Go Build Georgia contact here, and we appreciate Stacy being involved. We also have what we call Operation Workforce, which is helping veterans get paired up with these high-skill, high-demand jobs, and we're going to be focusing on apprenticeships as well. Everything focused and aligned with what future job needs are in this state. So those are the 4 areas that we talk about that are kind of traditional industrial development. Let me hit on tourism and film and the arts and then answer some questions. So tourism is a big industry in Georgia. $53 billion a year industry, supports over 410,000 jobs, which is about 10% of our payroll. Right here in Walton County, it supports more than 640 jobs, generated over $63 million in direct tourist spending, created $2.2 million in state tax revenue and $1.7 million in local tax revenue. So there are a few industries that are bigger than that. Tourism took a hit when the recession came. It's picking back up. What we want to do is start with our fellow Georgians. We've got a great website called Explore Georgia. If you're thinking about getting out, if you're thinking about taking your family on vacation, start at home and let us be a resource for you, and we'll try to keep those tourism dollars here. And we also want to make sure, particularly as we're getting into winter, there's a lot of folks from north of the Mason-Dixon line that are coming down, and we want them to stop here and not go down to that state that hosts the Gators down there at here, just a couple, I want to point out a couple of folks, and Rebecca Snyder is our tourism regional director, and she couldn't be here today, I don't think. Rebecca made it. She couldn't be here, but works very, very closely with the folks in your community. Most recently, the Blue Willow Inn and Social Circle was included in one of our regional photo shoots. Was a stop on the media tour that we hosted this summer, and is featured in our 2014 Georgia Group Tour Planner. And we also want to thank, again, the Chamber of Commerce and Social Circle Main Street for participating in our Georgia on My Mind Day in Augusta recently. And just great partnerships, and we want to do more to help grow and drive tourism in this state. Film. Many of you are probably aware of the fact that the Georgia film industry is now absolutely booming. We went from a $250 million a year industry in 2007 to recently the governor announced it's now a $5.1 billion a year industry, which is asking, please clap. That's good news. This couldn't have happened without great partnerships, and the governor has taken a personal interest, but so has the legislature. What we have a film tax credit that's done a great job. It's 20% on $500,000 worth of spend in Georgia and above, and then another 10% if you agree to market and enhance Georgia. And a lot of times, if you see a Georgia film, you'll see the peach at the end of it, prominently displayed after the credits. But so we've gotten folks. Georgia's been a good place to film, and it still remains a great place to film. In fact, I used to say you could have everything in Georgia other than the desert and the Rocky Mountains, but I've just recently been told we have found a desert for a film, and you can also put the Rocky Mountains in through the computer programming that we have. So you can film anywhere in Georgia, and it can be anywhere in the world, and we're very, very proud of that. Since 2011, we've had 11 film and television studio announcements made. The largest one has been Pinewood up in the Fayetteville, or over in the Fayetteville, Peachtree City area. They've got about 6 sound stages right now. The plan is to get to 31, which as I understand it will be larger than Warner Brothers in Hollywood. So that's great for us. We've had about over 100 support companies that come in, and that's everybody from lighting to makeup to, again, construction to catering. So you're seeing the multiplier effect of the industry being here. We currently have 22 projects going on in Georgia. Here in Walton County, there have been a couple that have shot here or will shoot here. The People versus Leo Frank at the Walton County Courthouse, and Get Low, starring Robert Duvall and Bill Murray, and they used a cabin in between Georgia. So everybody has a little piece of it, and how we do that is through a program that we call the Camera Ready Community Program, and all 159 counties are now camera ready. What that is an opportunity to have a database so that all communities can send us some of their great locations. And if you have locations that you think we should consider and you want us to pass to the film and television industry, we certainly can. Our film commission can help you with that. You guys were one of the early ones back in March of 2011 to sign up, and we appreciate that because it really does help broaden the reach of our film industry across the state. And finally is the Georgia Council for the Arts. They are a great group because as we said, you got to have a great place to do business, but you got to have a great place to live. And the arts community makes us a vibrant state and really adds to who we are as a state, who we are as a people. And we're real proud of what they do. The creative arts industry is about a $29, $30 billion a year industry. About 5% of the state's workforce comes from the creative arts, which is everything from visual arts to dance and film and everything in between. And they really act as a catalyst for communities to help revitalize, add jobs, but also from an education standpoint. We recently toured the state art collection. And here in Monroe, we had, it was a stop here at the Monroe Arts Guild from December 2013 to January 2014. 9 communities were a part of that over the past 14 months. It's ending up now down in Kingsland, Georgia, but it's a great way to get the state art collection out around the state. And we have several arts organizations that have been recipients of past grants through the Georgia Council for the Arts, Monroe Art Guild, Monroe Downtown Development Authority, and the Walton County Music Guild. So we're very, very pleased with that partnership. And I'm told also that a local artist, Sue Grilly's work is currently on display at the Capitol. So you guys are very, very well represented in the arts community. I want to take a few questions, but let me just finish by saying this. It's a great time in economic development in Georgia, and that's because everybody's participating, because we have great partnerships. As I mentioned at the beginning too, everybody's an ambassador. And if you have opportunities in any of these areas that we can help with, whether Susie can help, or Bo can help, or I can help, or anybody else, we're happy to do it. You should be very, very proud of what's going on in this community. And you have the vision for what you want to be. We've got some resources and some experience that we want to help support that, and that's our job, and we look forward to doing that as often as we can. With that, I'd be happy to answer a question, or I can sit down and we can all move on with our day. Bruce.
Mr. Commissioner, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't give a little report back to you about some things we're working together as a county, especially, and you've heard this before, but I just want to remind you about the initiative called Walton Proud. It's where all of our both public and private schools are working together to make sure that when these new employees, these new jobs are grown, as our community grows, that people understand the wonderful educational choices they have in Walton County. We've got fabulous public and private schools, and just want to make sure the state continues to let our prospective companies know that. So, on a very similar note, not only are we working together through that venue, but all of our municipalities all the city councils periodically meet and get together. So all the community leaders in Walton County are getting together, working together to make it easy for you to bring new jobs to this area. So that's a little mini report back to you, and just want to make sure you remind the governor of that.
Appreciate it, and I certainly will, and it does matter, and the great schools out here do matter, and the partnerships do as well. And also, now that I see Bruce standing up giving the good report, I believe you guys were the first community, when I was named commissioner, we were in Washington standing on the rooftop at a reception, and Bruce grabbed me and said, we want to be the first community to talk to you, so here you are. Bruce did his job. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Is Jimmy Kobe closed on the old Western election building?
Working on that now, and that's another one. So it'll be called the Atlanta Film Campus, and that's going to be another great facility. They've already been filming.
Right.
They filmed The Hunger Games, Fast and Furious 7, and so that was it's been a number of different things. Now it's OFS, so they're doing fiber on one side. They've got the studio on the other, but as I understand it, will become an entire campus and will be absolutely great. There's a couple of other studios that are going in there. Tyler Perry's announced he's going to do some new expansions and some new things. We've got, again, the film industry is just growing, and what we're trying to do is make sure we keep up with it. There are two kind of perceptions that we have to fight. One is that we don't have enough space, soundstage space, and two is that we don't have enough crew. Well, we were just, you will all be glad to know that there is a remake of the movie Vacation that's currently filming in Georgia, and which we went to the set. I'm not going to spit it, but it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited about it. But talking to the producer on that film, what he has said is there's some of the best crews in America are now in Georgia. So that is absolutely fantastic. But we've got to continue to grow that. So we've got to make sure that the future generation. And then we were talking to the Pinewood folks recently as well, and they said, yep, it's great to have a good tax credit because really most of the decisions right now about whether to do a movie or a television show are coming from the finance department. So they're saying where to do it and that sort of thing, and we are right there on the top, which is fantastic. But the other thing they want to do is make sure that we invest in the creative side. Who is the next director, the next screenwriter, the next actor? And so we've got some great programs here, and SCAD is another great asset for our state, and so there's a lot going on that we're very, very excited about. But he's getting to the close, as I understand
Yeah,
it.
he mentioned November was the start date.
That's my understanding as well. I just don't think it's closed yet, but he's getting close. It's great to have him part of the family. Any other questions I can answer? Well, thank you very, very much for having me. I hope your families and you have a wonderful holiday season. Take care.
Funny you bring up the film industry. I was in Atlanta last night with some big real estate guys, and they were bragging and talking about this street in Atlanta was closed 2 months ago for a film. This was closed. I said, you have nothing on Walton County. I live in between. They closed my road about that. So that was good information. Chris, thanks for everything you're doing. And boy, if you don't walk out of here pumped up after that, thank you very much. Okay, next we're going to roll into our Member of the Month Award. It's always a special time. And the Member of the Month Award winner is selected by the Business Council from nominations made by the membership. This month's member is an organization in Walton County who is involved in economic development in a big way, planning of events and promotions that they serve. A few community organizations that are involved in helping to plan and promote, such as Monroe Art Guild, the Music Guild, Downtown Concerts, Festival and Parades, and the leader of the organization is currently in the Leadership Walton program. This organization collaborates with the Chamber to promote Walton Proud and the Antiques Capital of Georgia tourism promotions. The person making the nomination said this organization works to provide great business climate for downtown businesses and a great quality of life for its residents. They provide great activities for families. This organization is helping to change the face of downtown Monroe. Now you probably figured out who it is. Yes, this month's Member of the Month is being presented to the Monroe Downtown Development Authority. Sadie Kay, where are you? say something. You say something.
Just support downtown. Keep going downtown.
Hey, she is not only promotion of downtown, promotion, I'm in commercial real estate business. I called her yesterday. She's always helping me figure out things that before there was nobody to help out, you know, commercial deposits, that kind of thing. So Sadie, thank you and everybody on your team for everything you're doing.
Okay, let's have some door prize drawings, and then we're going to give you a few. And Apple and Steve come up from our two sponsor companies. We'll let Michael go first. Michael, why don't you tell us just briefly about Hitachi? I know that Chris has already told him a little bit.
Okay.
And introduce your team here, and then we'll do your drawing.
Okay, my name is Michael Schoon. I'm the Senior Director at Hitachi Automotive. Our main product we make is, of course, automobile components. As Mr. Carr explained, Hitachi is now in a rapid growth mode. We did complete our construction of our Building 3 in June, and now that equipment from various facilities is now being installed. So we're very excited about the growth and the impact that we're having on this community. Very thankful for the partnership we have with everyone in this room, Walton County, the city of Monroe, and also the state of Georgia. And we can confirm as a company that Georgia is the #1 place to do business, as we're proof of that. So I'd like to introduce my team at this time. I have right here in the blue, Miss Yuka Katsumori, and next to her is Cliff Kilgard. He's our Director of Production. And finally, Marilyn Wells is our Senior Human Resource Generalist. So,
How many employees do y'all have?
right now we have 500. We'll be adding roughly over 300 more positions over the next 2 years. We currently have over 50 positions now posted on our website. So if you know anybody with those skills, please direct them to our website. We love to have good quality people working for us.
Awesome. And they're providing a gift certificate to the Blue Willow Inn. So, they're also lucky winner. Kenneth Lee. It's not Kenneth here, did he leave?
Yeah.
He left.
Told how I behave. Obviously, I know a lot of you folks on a personal level, but this is my first chamber attendance. When my father and I came to Walton County about 15 years ago, we were a small mom and pop operation. We were lucky to get a couple or three truckloads of rack out of our facilities early on, back 15 or so years ago. We received great support from everyone from Meredith and Athens First, Bruce Williamson on tax incentives to come to this area to help bring love in terms of real estate. So my appearance here today is one to thank you folks for supporting our growth. As I said, we were a mom and pop operation 15 years ago. We have, through those 15 years, we've continued to grow. We've expanded into our 5th facility here and around the Walton County area. Our capacity has gone from just a few 100,000 pounds a month to well over 3,000 tons a month. So our growth is strong. We're going to try to take advantage of the employment benefits that we can receive from this room. We are only operating a 2-shift operation as it is right now in 2 of our facilities. So the opportunity for additional growth within our company is still very, very strong. So I applaud you for your support. We're happy to be here, and we look forward to staying here for a long time. My team, newly hired Andrew Barton, Vice President, Director of Manufacturing, Randy Mosier, and then Director of Engineering, Janet Pugh. She heads up the engineering department. So, for those that don't know what we do, if you walk into any Home Depot, Lowe's, or Walmart, from as basic as the racking fixtures that you see there, to fully integrated distribution centers, full pack and ship operations for the likes of Hitachi, Bed Bath & Beyond, Macy's, Publix, and so forth. So they buy a lot of steel, and we're putting a lot of truckloads through Walton County. So again, thank you for your support.
And we have a $25 American Express reward card that's good for Shop Small Business Saturday, November 29th. And that goes to Ben Bridges. Ben's still here? Thank you to both of those companies for being our sponsor today. Okay, we have some new members with us today, so at this time we'll have them stand and give their name and their company name.
I'm Ashley Peters, and I'm with Biltmore Insurance, and we're located in Loganville.
My name is Greg Stewart. I'm with Ginn Motor Company in Covington. Glad to be here. Obviously, first meeting. As marketing coordinator for Ginn, I go to a lot of chamber meetings, and I've just got one word for yours, and that's wow.
Hi, my name is Joe Messino. Al Humphrey and I have just started a new company this week called Best Golf Results. And basically our goal is to help golfers get better via customized golf clubs. Just check us out at bestgolfresults.com or on Facebook at Best Golf Results, and we aim to help you. If we can, we certainly will be happy about that. Thank you.
Josh Garth, Financial Advisor with Edward Jones, right here in Monroe.
Zaid Hussein, Farmers Insurance Agency owner over in Walnut Grove.
Tim Anderson, over in Newton County, with Newton County Home Builders Association, Anderson Home Builders.
I Sam Newstand, I'm of Kings Valley, and you might know the Georgia Panther Magazine, but recently started a second company with partner Eli on Peach State Publications. So.
I'm Eli Luciano with Beach State Publications.
Great, and on the tables, there are a few of our letters about our quality of life publication that we'll be producing under contract with Peach State Publications. So if you haven't received that by mail or an email yet, there are a few on the table, so please feel free to take one of those and fill out the bottom if you want to know more information about participating in that new quality of life piece for Walton County. We have our Buy Local Business Expo next week. Seems like it was forever away and now it's here. So it is next week. It is November 20th in Loganville at Meridian Park, and we are excited. We have over 70 businesses participating in that event. Raise your hand if you're one of our exhibitors for that event. So you'll kind of get an idea of who you might see there. We are encouraging folks to bring stuff to sell. We want the public coming to buy local and buy early for the holidays, so give them opportunity, and we'll be giving away some more of those American Express reward cards as door prizes at that event. We have $400 worth of those to give away at the Buy Local Business Expo next week. So we're excited about that. It is at Meridian Park again next Thursday, and it's open to the public 5 to 8. So there's also tickets on the table, and there's also flyers on the table. If you have a company where you can display the flyer in the window, that would be greatly appreciated. If you want to take one with you and put it up in your storefront window, Hal's holding it up here, Vanna display up here. And tickets, if you need more tickets, please let us know. We have plenty more printed. If you want them for your employees, that's 500 employees you'll have. If you want to put a ticket in all of their hands to come to the expo, we would love for you to do that. So just let us know if you need more of those. We have our Coffee and Connections at Magnolia Manor and Social Circle on Wednesday, December 3rd. It'll be early enough for the mayor to get to go play golf, which just gets released from his knee, right? Wednesday's golf day. We don't plan stuff in the Social Circle on Wednesday. December the, sorry Hal. December the 6th, Saturday. If you like to walk, run, jog, or as Carrie and I say, walk and jog. We would love for you to participate in our Walton 5K and half marathon. It is in Good Hope. We start and finish at Harmony Elementary School. We appreciate them allowing us to do that. But it's a great event. The half marathon course is certified, and that means something to the big runners, I know, but doesn't mean anything to me. But except for a lot of money that it costs us to do it. So anyway, that is one of our fundraisers, and as you all know, all of our fundraisers support our programs that don't support themselves, such as youth leadership, Leadership Walton, Reality Check program, those types of programs. So our next and final lunch of 2014 is December the 10th, and that's State of the County. It'll be here, Wednesday, December 10th. And I do have a volunteer opportunity for y'all. Some of you have gotten my email, some of you have not. But on next Monday, we have our Reality Check program at Youth Middle School with all the 8th graders. This will be our largest one yet, 357 8th graders that we will run through the program. So let me tell you what Reality Check is real quick. It is sort of the game of life. So when the 8th graders come into the room, they will have 13 stations they can visit. So they'll have housing, automobile, insurance, daycare. So they'll be given a scenario of how much money they make. We've already taken the taxes out for them, so they don't all have to go to see Uncle Sam Booth first. So it'll tell them how much money they make. It'll tell them if they're married or not, if they have children or not, if their spouse works or not. And so it kind of gives them their monthly budget. And so then they have to go around to the different stations in the room, and they have to buy or rent a house. They have to have something to drive. They have to have transportation to get to and from work. They have to have insurance. So there's certain booths they have to visit. There are some fun booths too, like they can go buy movie tickets or dinner tickets, or they can give to charity if they want to. Some of them go there first. And I know we just did the program at LCA a couple weeks ago, and the first stop was the guy wanted to go eat at Zaxby's, so that was the first thing he did with his money. So anyway, it's a great experience for our students, but it takes about 15 to 20 volunteers to run that program. Youth Middle School, as I said, will be our largest one yet, and it will be all day, 7:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, and we'll run all those students through 7 sessions, 51 students per session. So we really need as many volunteers as possible. So if you haven't already volunteered, and you might have interest in helping us, even if it's just for a couple of hours for the day, that would be great. You can just come see me when we finish the program. I'll write your name down, and then I'll send you out an email of what booth you've been assigned to, and sort of what your assignment will be while you're there. So love to have y'all involved in that. It's a great program. And then we have the other ones coming up. We have George Walton tomorrow. They're covered. It's only 2 sessions, so they're covered. But then we have all the big ones coming up. So we have Youth Middle School on Monday, and then December we have Carver, Social Circle, and Loganville Middle School, which is 388 students. So it won't be our biggest one, but it's our biggest one yet. So, but David Todd is the principal there, and I know he would love to see you also, right, Mr. Todd? Yes, please. Yes. So, anyway, thanks again to our sponsors for sponsoring today's program. Thank you so much, Commissioner Chris Carr, for coming out to Walton County today. We appreciate all that you do to support us at the state level. And we are glad that Georgia's the #1 place to do business. And we think Walton County is too. So, okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.